Day 3 of biking around Taiwan is where the fun starts. We head into the mountains and onto the infamous Suhua Highway, which is said to be one of Taiwan's most dangerous but also most scenic rides. The highway features 3 brutal climbs, and today's goal is in the middle, to leave the rest for tomorrow. Starting off bright and early, except it's not bright because it's still dark, to avoid traffic. So after ripping an energy bar and setting the bike up, the ride starts with a very smooth bit as the day brightens up, until it's time for some breakfast at a typical Taiwanese breakfast shop, where I got a little omelette and egg roll, which can have various fillings, and hash brown filled sounded way too weird not to try. Then it's only a little bit to get to the coast, where I was pleasantly surprised by this wonderful bike road by the sea. And then surprised again by how short it was, because I'm right back on the main road. For another hour or so before stocking up on some snacks while watching some cats. At this point it's quite evident we're heading into the mountains. But then I saw this big red text which seemed important enough to translate. Turns out the old highway I want to take to avoid the main traffic is closed, but I'll still be able to take the main road. This is where some minor climbs start, as well as the first tunnel. It was loud and quite narrow, but luckily there's light at the end of every tunnel. There was a lot of road work going on, but they're clearly doing a good job, because some bits were the freshest roads I ever biked on. And then a lot more tunnels, some looking like a cave, some peeking out into the light in the middle. Here's the fork where I would have turned if the road wasn't completely closed. So that meant heading into yet another tunnel, but this one was great because it had a bike lane. Then came another opportunity to get off the main road, but I was worried there would be another closure farther ahead. There was this random police station right at the fork, so I asked and they kindly confirmed that my route is all okay. And this was yet another beautiful stretch, with pretty much zero traffic. And guess what? Another tunnel. Then it's time to refuel before the major climb of the day. Luckily there is this very nice road rest stop with some shops and a nice fountain and a high-tech toilet that shows which booths are occupied. The plan was to get a quick lunch and continue at noon when many trekkers have a lunch break. And then the climb starts, with yet another tunnel, beautiful mountain greenery, big rock, and some of the best views of the trip. And while biking here was really tough, I even met a hiker here in the middle of nowhere, which is really hardcore. Toward the top it started slightly raining, so the downhill wasn't amazing. Nevertheless, it took me to my destination. But when I arrived at the hotel, if you can call it that, there was literally no one there, except this fish. I sent them an email, which was my only way of contacting them, and headed for dinner to get some sesame noodles. They don't look very appetizing, but you should definitely try them in Taiwan. There was still no one at the hotel, but I ended up finding their phone number, but my SIM card doesn't work, so I headed to a convenience store where a nice soul at the counter helped me make the call. And also picked up a milk tea, and finally some rest. Didn't film the inside, but it wasn't really noteworthy. See you early tomorrow to crush the remaining climbs.